Hidden Earth. The Draconian Imperial warship Eternal Flame materialized at the edge of Earth's solar system, its obsidian hull absorbing starlight like a cosmic predator. Fleet Commander Kazak stood on the command deck, his scaled skin shifting between deep crimson and midnight blue as he studied the holographic displays of the third planet. Behind him, 24 other warships emerged from fold space, their angular designs identical to his, each a testament to the engineering that had helped subjugate 300 worlds. Curious, Kazak rumbled, his inner eyelids flickering as he processed the sensor data. Show me their global communications again. The air around him shimmered as Earth's internet traffic materialized in ghostly streams of data. Television broadcasts, radio signals, and digital communications flowed past him like rivers of information. According to our intelligence, said his science officer Viridian, approaching with characteristic precision, this is a pre-fold civilization, barely able to reach their own moon. She gestured toward the displays. Technology Index 7. Nuclear capability, early space exploration, primitive AI development. They should be approximately 3 centuries from achieving fold space technology. Kazak raised a clawed hand, freezing a particular data stream in midair. Explain this, science officer. Viridian expanded the frozen information, revealing what appeared to be an educational broadcast. Their entertainment media contains remarkably accurate descriptions of quantum mechanics. Their science fiction demonstrates understanding of concepts that should be beyond their grasp. Cultural anomalies are common in developing species, offered Tactical Officer Morden. They often imagine technologies they cannot yet create. No. Kazak's scales rippled with certainty. This is different. Look at their power consumption patterns. He gestured and new data flows appeared. They maintain a planetary energy grid that's barely sufficient for their apparent level of development. Yet their population continues to grow. Their cities expand, and their industry thrives. Where is the strain? Where are the resource wars? Viridian's scales shifted to a troubled green. Perhaps they are simply efficient. Or perhaps, Kazak's voice dropped to a whisper, we're not seeing everything there is to see. He turned to Morden. Launch the probe drones. Standard first contact protocol. Let them detect us gradually. I want to see how they react when they realize they're not alone. As the drones descended toward Earth's atmosphere, Kazak couldn't shake the feeling that something was fundamentally wrong with this picture. In his 5 centuries of service to the Empire, he had overseen the integration of dozens of worlds. Each followed a predictable pattern: panic at first contact, desperate military response, eventual submission to the Empire's superior technology. But as he watched Earth's reactions through the drone sensors, he saw nothing. No panic, no emergency broadcasts, no military mobilization, just business as usual. Commander, his communications officer called out, we're detecting increased activity from their space observation networks. They've spotted our drones. Kazak waited for the chaos to begin. Instead, he watched as Earth's major news networks calmly reported the presence of unknown objects in the sky. Social media buzzed with speculation, but there was no fear, only curiosity and excitement. Send the standard greeting, he ordered. Let's see how they handle the truth. The message was broadcast globally in every human language. People of Earth, you are not alone. We represent the Draconian Empire, guardians of order in this sector of the galaxy. Your world has been chosen for integration into our civilization. Prepare for formal contact within 1 planetary rotation. The response came almost immediately. A simple text transmission in perfect Draconian. Welcome to Earth. We accept your invitation for contact. Please proceed to the following coordinates for diplomatic reception. Kazak's scales turned pure white, an involuntary reaction he hadn't experienced since his academy days. They responded in our language, a language they should have no way of knowing. Commander, Viridian's voice shook slightly. The coordinates they provided are for a facility on their moon. a facility our sensors showed as uninhabited moments ago. Kazak stared at the blue-green planet below him, certainty crumbling with each passing moment. They had come to uplift a primitive world, to bring another species into the Empire's embrace. Instead, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was standing on the edge of something vast and unknown, a mystery that had been waiting patiently for someone to discover it. "Prepare my shuttle," he ordered, his scales settling into a determined copper hue. "It seems our hosts have been expecting us." As his crew rushed to comply, Kazak gazed at Earth once more. In all his years of service, he had never encountered a species that reacted to first contact with such composure. Either humans were the most psychologically stable species in known space, or they had been waiting for this moment far longer than anyone could have guessed. The lunar facility materialized before Kazak's eyes like a mirage taking solid form. Where moments ago there had been only cratered regolith, now stood an elegant complex of crystalline domes and sweeping archways that put Draconian architecture to shame. His shuttle sensors struggled to maintain a lock on the structure, as if reality itself was uncertain about its existence. "Impossible," Viridian whispered beside him, her scientific detachment crumbling. "The energy readings, they're beyond anything in our database." The shuttle's pilot, a veteran of 1,000 landings, hesitated before the designated landing pad. "Commander, I'm detecting. I don't know how to describe it. It's as if the landing zone exists in multiple states simultaneously." "Proceed," Kazak ordered, his scales shifting through shades of anticipation and unease. As the shuttle descended, he noticed something that sent a shiver through his central nervous system. The stars behind the facility seemed to bend ever so slightly, as if space itself was being gently folded around the structure. A human delegation waited for them beneath a towering arch that seemed to be made of flowing light. 3 figures stood calmly as Kazak and his team disembarked. 2 females, and 1 male wearing simple blue uniforms with no visible weapons or defensive systems. The central figure, an older female with silver-streaked hair, stepped forward with a warm smile. "Fleet Commander Kazak," she said in flawless Draconian, "I'm Director Elena Vega of the Earth Diplomatic Corps. Welcome to Tranquility Base." Kazak's diplomatic training warred with his mounting confusion. "Director Vega, your facility, your language capabilities, none of this should be possible at your civilization's level of development." Vega's smile widened slightly. "Ah, yes. About that. Perhaps we should discuss the interesting assumptions the galaxy has made about Earth over the centuries. Please, follow me." As they walked through the facility, Kazak's sensor suite, the most advanced in the Empire, continued to report contradictory data. Corridors seemed to extend indefinitely before suddenly resolving to reasonable lengths. Rooms appeared to occupy the same space without intersecting. At one point, he was certain they walked across the ceiling without gravity shifting. They entered what appeared to be a conference room, though Kazak suspected that description was drastically insufficient. The walls rippled with patterns that suggested deep space, and in the center of the room floated a holographic display unlike anything he had ever seen, a perfect real-time representation of the entire solar system, down to individual dust particles. "You're wondering about our technological disparity," Vega said, gesturing for them to sit. "Why our public face shows one level of development, while other aspects of our civilization suggest something else entirely." "You've been deceiving the galaxy," Viridian interjected, her scientific curiosity overwhelming protocol. "But why? And how?" The energy requirements alone for this facility would be impossible using conventional physics. Just as it would be impossible to hide a civilization's true nature from spacefaring observers, Vega finished for her, unless, of course, one had mastered something far more fundamental than mere energy manipulation. The holographic display shifted, zooming in on Earth. Layers peeled away, revealing something that caused Kazak's scales to turn pure white once again. Beneath the surface of human civilization, beneath the cities, the power plants, the familiar infrastructure of a developing world, lay another Earth entirely. Vast networks of impossible architecture extended through bedrock and mantle, facilities that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, power systems that drew energy from what appeared to be reality itself. 3,000 years ago, Vega continued, humanity faced a choice. We had discovered principles that your civilization would call impossible, the ability to manipulate not just space and time, but the fundamental nature of reality itself. We saw two paths before us: reveal our power to the galaxy and potentially destabilize countless developing civilizations, or become silent guardians, watching and waiting as other species found their own paths to the stars. Kazax's mind raced through the implications. The philosophical transmissions we detected, the entertainment media showing advanced concepts, ways of preparing our public for eventual contact. Vega nodded. We've maintained two civilizations simultaneously: the public face that everyone sees, and the true extent of human development. It's been an interesting cultural challenge. But why reveal yourselves now? Kazax asked, his diplomatic training finally reasserting itself. Why allow us to see behind the curtain? Vega's expression grew serious. Because the galaxy is changing, Commander. We've detected disturbances in the quantum fabric of space-time that suggest something is coming, something that will require all advanced civilizations to work together. We chose your empire for first contact because, despite your tendency toward expansion, you've shown wisdom in governance and respect for developing worlds. Before Kazax could respond, alarms blared through the facility. The holographic display flashed red, focusing on a point just beyond Neptune's orbit. Vega's face hardened as she studied the data. It seems, she said grimly, that some elements of your empire didn't wait for diplomatic channels. We're detecting a battle fleet emerging from Fold space. 50 ships, heavy arsenal configuration. Kazax's scales rippled with shock and embarrassment. The War Council, he hissed. They must have monitored our transmissions and decided to seize the initiative. Director, I assure you. Vega raised a hand, her expression now carrying a hint of sadness. No need for apologies, Commander. We've had plans in place for this scenario for a very long time. Would you like to see why humanity chose to hide its true nature from the galaxy? The holographic display shifted again, showing the approaching Draconian war fleet. As Kazax watched, space itself seemed to ripple around Earth. The battle fleet, pride of the Empire's military might, suddenly found itself engaged in a dance they never trained for, a dance with reality itself. The cosmic chess game. The Draconian war fleet approached Earth with predatory grace, their weapons primed for planetary subjugation. Fleet Admiral Sorax stood on the command deck of the Imperial Vengeance, watching as Earth grew larger on the main display. Status of Commander Kazax's diplomatic mission, he demanded. No response to our hails, Admiral, his communications officer replied. Their shuttle landed at coordinates on the far side of the moon, but we've lost all sensor contact. Sorax's scales darkened with anger. Typical of these primitive worlds. They've likely taken hostages. He turned to his weapons officer. Prepare the demonstration strike. Target their largest military installation. On the lunar facility, Kazax watched in horror as the holographic display showed the Imperial Vengeance charging its main weapon array. Director Vega, you must evacuate your people. That ship carries enough firepower to vaporize a small continent. Vega finished calmly. Yes, we know. Please, Commander, watch. As the Imperial Vengeance unleashed its primary beam weapon, a concentrated stream of plasma energy capable of penetrating planetary crusts, something impossible happened. The beam didn't strike Earth's surface. Instead, it curved, bending like light around a gravitational well, spiraling inward toward what appeared to be a tear in space itself. What? Kazax couldn't find words to complete his thought. Reality manipulation, Viridian whispered beside him, her scientific mind struggling to process what she was seeing. They've created a localized fold in space-time. On the display, confusion spread through the Draconian fleet. Admiral Sorax ordered a full barrage, 50 ships firing simultaneously, enough firepower to reduce a planet to molten slag. Each beam, each projectile, followed the same path, curving, spiraling, disappearing into what Kazakh now recognized as a contained singularity. "We call it the Mobius Defense System," Vega explained, "a network of quantum field manipulators that can selectively alter the properties of space-time around our planet. What your fleet is experiencing is a controlled gravitational lens effect, redirecting their attacks into a pocket dimension." Kazakh watched as Admiral Sorax, enraged by the failure of his weapons, ordered the fleet to advance to orbital positions. As they moved forward, the space around Earth seemed to fold inward. Ships disappeared from sensors, reappearing in seemingly random positions, their formations shattered. The next phase, Vega continued, involves quantum location uncertainty. Your ships are simultaneously in multiple positions within our solar system, a state that will resolve itself once your admiral orders a retreat. On the command deck of the Imperial Vengeance, chaos reigned. Sensor operators reported impossible readings. Navigation systems failed as the ship seemed to occupy multiple points in space simultaneously. Communications with the rest of the fleet became garbled, nonsensical. "Admiral," the science officer reported, "we're detecting energy signatures unlike anything in our database. They're emanating from Earth itself, from beneath the surface." Before Sorax could respond, a message appeared on every display throughout the fleet, in perfect Draconian. "Your weapons cannot harm us. Your ships cannot reach us. We have waited millennia for this moment. We offer you one chance to withdraw." In the lunar facility, Kazakh turned to Vega. "You could destroy them all." "Yes," she acknowledged. "But that has never been our way. We've spent thousands of years developing defenses, not weapons. Our greatest technologies are shields, not swords." "Why?" Kazakh demanded. "With this power, you could have conquered the galaxy." Vega's expression softened. "That's precisely why we hid, Commander. When a species discovers how to manipulate fundamental reality, it faces an inflection point, a moment that defines its future. Most species that reach this point destroy themselves, turning their power inward in struggles for dominance. Those that survive often become conquerors, viewing less advanced species as resources to be exploited." She gestured toward the Earth, serene in the holographic display despite the chaotic Draconian fleet surrounding it. 3,000 years ago, we chose a different path. We turned our focus inward, building a global community that values exploration and knowledge over expansion and conquest. We developed our technology in secret, watching the stars, waiting for the right moment to emerge. And now that moment has come," Kazakh said, understanding beginning to dawn. "Yes," Vega nodded, "but not because of your empire, Commander. Something is coming, something that threatens all intelligent life in the galaxy." The holographic display shifted, showing the far edges of the Milky Way. Strange distortions appeared in the fabric of space, rippling outward like waves in a pond. "We call them void echoes," Vega explained. "Quantum disturbances from beyond the galactic rim. They began appearing a century ago, faint at first, but growing stronger. Our scientists believe they're the first signs of an extragalactic intelligence, one that doesn't communicate or negotiate, but simply consumes." Kazakh studied the display, his tactical mind processing the implications. "You need allies." "We need the galaxy united," Vega corrected. "Your empire, the collective worlds, the Free Systems Alliance, all working together. The coming threat doesn't distinguish between our political boundaries." On the Imperial Vengeance, Admiral Sorax finally made the only decision available to him: order the fleet to withdraw. Immediate fold space jump to Rally Point Alpha. As the Draconian ships attempted to retreat, they found their fold space drives inoperable, the quantum fields around Earth interfering with the delicate calculations required for safe jumps. Another message appeared on their displays: "We will restore your fold space capability once diplomatic communications are established with your government." Commander Kazax now speaks with the authority of Earth. Listen to his words. In the lunar facility, Kazax was given access to a communication system unlike anything he had ever seen, a direct quantum link to the Draconian High Council, bypassing the normal relay network. Esteemed counselors, he began, his scales shifting to formal presentation patterns, I speak to you from a facility on Earth's moon. What I have witnessed here today changes everything we thought we knew about this region of space. One by one, he described the revelations of the day, Earth's hidden technology, its reality manipulation capabilities, the ineffectiveness of the Empire's military might against their defenses. Finally, he spoke of the void echoes and the threat they represented. The humans could have destroyed our fleet without effort, he concluded. Instead, they offer alliance, not submission to our rule, but partnership against a greater threat. I recommend we accept their terms. The council chambers erupted in debate, but the outcome was never really in doubt. The Empire had always prided itself on pragmatism, and the evidence was clear. Earth possessed technology that made them unconquerable. 3 days later, as the diplomatic arrangements were finalized, Kazax stood with Director Vega on an observation platform, watching as the Draconian fleet, now restored to normal space, prepared to depart. Your council has agreed remarkably quickly, Vega noted. Fear is a powerful motivator, Kazax replied. But so does opportunity. The technological exchange you've offered will advance our civilization by centuries. Only defensive technologies, Vega reminded him. Reality manipulation remains Earth's alone, at least for now. Kazax nodded, understanding the wisdom in that restriction. The announcement to the galaxy will cause disruption. Change always does, Vega said with a smile. But better controlled change than the chaos the void echoes will bring if we're not prepared. As the Draconian ships disappeared into fold space, carrying news that would reshape galactic politics, Kazax found himself contemplating the strange path that had led him here. He had arrived expecting to claim another world for the Empire. Instead, he was returning as the ambassador to the most powerful civilization in known space, a civilization that had hidden in plain sight for millennia. You know, he said, turning to Vega, in all our history, this is the first time the Draconian Empire has been genuinely humbled. It may be the best thing that's ever happened to us. Vega's smile widened. That, Commander, is precisely why we chose your ships to find us. Across the galaxy, as news spread of Earth's revelation, of the fleet that disappeared into impossible space only to return with tales of human power beyond comprehension, a new era began. Species that had viewed humans as primitive curiosities now sought diplomatic relations. Ancient enemies found common cause in the face of the approaching void echoes. And on Earth itself, citizens finally learned the truth about the shadow civilization that had protected them for thousands of years, the reality manipulators who had waited patiently for the right moment to emerge, not as conquerors, but as guardians of a galaxy that never knew it needed saving. The age of secrecy was over. The age of unity had begun. And somewhere beyond the galactic rim, the void echoes continued their approach, unaware that their intended prey was now becoming a predator.